Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Diamonds and Washi. My name is Katie. Today I am here with this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new, first off, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Today I'm just going to be chatting your ear off for the next hour, so we'll see how it goes. And I'll be working on my WIP, hence WIP and Chat. WIP stands for work in progress. I'm going to be working on a diamond painting today, which is virtually always what you'll see here on my channel, but you're welcome to work on whatever you would like along with me. Some people will treat WIP and Chats like podcasts or have it on while they're getting stuff done around the house, whatever works for you. One of my favorite things to do is to pull up WIP and Chat playlists from some of my favorite creators and just have those on. And with playlists, it's like just play, let it roll, and I don't have to think about it. So I do have a WIP and Chat playlist with 5 years or so of WIP and Chats that you can go and take a look at if you're interested in just having that company as you go. So let me tell you a little bit about what I'm working on and with today. I'm working on the same diamond painting as I was last week, which is called Two Witches from Oraloa and the artist Maria Chetkareva. And we're in the home stretch of this one. I've actually completed 4 out of the 5 rows. I just finished the 4th row like an hour ago, and I'm opening up this first section of the top row. So we're up here kind of with these hanging herbs and spices and whatnot. So we'll see how that goes. I have thoughts about how some of these like shelf elements have been going. I have a lot of thoughts, but we'll get into that after I've talk to you about my accessories. So I want to show these small shops some love for sure. I don't have like a discount code with Oraloa or anything at the moment, but I know there's some Oraloa affiliates out there that you could probably track down to find a discount code for, but otherwise I'd just maybe keep an eye on their website for sales. I believe that they're shipping to the US still. I bought this kit a couple of years ago, so it's, yeah, I guess slightly out of date information. Accessories. A lot of these I shared in my Drills and Chills week 3 video this past weekend, which was like a small shop haul of sorts, but it was specifically event sponsors. So I have this pen, which is from Craftspirations and is very, very, very fall coated. It has like a fall leaf glitter here in the middle that's really pretty. It's got some bling and then lots of fall colors along with like some sparkle and glitter. I've never used a pen from the shop before, so I'm really interested to see what the experience of working with this one is like. And then I have this tray, which is from Bijou Bliss and is the tray that they created for Drills and Chills this year. I think this is the 3rd year they've done a Drills and Chills tray, but they have a magnetic lid built into it and everything. And so I really like the very Halloween vibes of the inside colors too, and the black glittery filament is really pretty. So I'll be using this tray. In my single placer, I'm going to use this Wee Wax in the scent Big Macintosh, which she did for Drills and Chills this year. And also I'm probably just going to leave it open to get little like whiffs of as we go, because the fragrance on Wee Wax is so nice. It's like just so light, and I don't know. She does a really nice job with fragrances. And then for putty, I'm going to use this in my multi-placer. This is Autumn Magic scented putty from Tracy's DP World and is for Drills and Chills as well. And then I have this cover minder from the Clayful Fairy, and I went with something that was more fall-centric. She did give me a few, but I thought it'd be fun for September to highlight this, this fall one. It's so pretty. It's like handmade polymer clay, it looks like. So anyway, I was quickly, before I get this all set up and ready to go, as part of the like lots of thoughts I have to share about this kit, which I'll do a dedicated post review as well, but I just want to show you guys visually this very real difference I feel like I'm seeing in different parts of this canvas, because I just keep really going back and forth on whether I feel like this kit is hand charted, computer charted, a mix of both, and I'm really landing on I feel like it's a mix of both because, okay, first, look at just like this area with the shelf, and it's pure confetti. Like this, there's so much about so many of these areas that is just like super characteristic of computer charting. Like just dumped into a computer program, keep it as is. Like some of these just feels very random color changes. Caveat, when you step back to a viewing distance, when you take a picture of this canvas, it photographs amazingly. It comes together 100%. It does. But it's a different rendering style. But then contrast that with it's the faces specifically. Like the eyes are not a disaster. They're very cleanly done. And even like there's more of a deliberate like set of shading that was done here, like with her mouth and with her nose. What you think of it, you might like it or dislike it, but it's much cleaner than some of the other areas. And this gal's face is, there's some trash drills that fell off earlier. I spilled my little trash drill holder like on my canvas, and still finding little drills here and there. But like her face I think it looks really good too. I should say maybe more clearly, even if you don't think it necessarily looks good, I don't think you can argue that it looks extremely different in terms of crispness and detail compared to like, look at this part of this shelf in this background. It's a stark difference to me. And I noticed that kind of all over. Even the cat, I feel like there's just a lot of different colors, a lot of different confetti, a lot of things going on that make me go, like it's setting off my spidey senses for computer charting. So yes, just my personal thoughts. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's observations, because charting, rendering styles, that's something that I tend to care the most about when it comes to diamond painting and my diamond painting experience. And I know a lot of you do too. In my opinion, when it comes down to it, a lot of companies have a lot of the same kinds of things going on when it comes to the basics. Most diamond painting companies at this point, small and large shops, have resin squares. Not all resin squares are created equal, but generally speaking, it's like there's a variety of shops that I can buy from and be reasonably confident in the quality of their square drills. And then same with like, the glue, the canvas, the symbol clarity. A lot of these things are similar enough from company to company that they don't tend to be what I focus on when I'm reviewing a company and deciding like, do I want to buy from this company again? What I tend to pay more attention to, what really tends to set companies apart from each other, in my personal opinion, is more what art do they offer and how do they what's the style of how they translate it into diamond painting form, which is the rendering, the charting, whatever you would like to call it. Let me load up my pen before I actually pull this down. And so that's why you hear me really just harp on it and spend so much time thinking on it and trying to describe it to you guys, because some of you probably feel similarly. Like that's really what's setting a company apart, is what artwork they have to offer and how they render it. So with Oraloa, I just feel like some of the social media previews that I've been seeing more recently for their kits have more given me the impression that there's some more hand charting going on. So I do wonder, and if you guys happen to be more in the know, feel free to comment as much down below. But I've bought one other Oraloa kit since this one, but it's had similar like confetti, I feel like, from just a glance. I haven't worked on it, but just from what I remember looking at the rendering and stuff, just from the digital renders I've seen, it just looks like maybe they are doing some more hand charting. So I don't know. And I don't know when I'll be able to swing purchasing from them again. And I don't know if some kits, like if they restock this exact kit, is it going to have the same render, or will they have, I don't know, gone in and updated the render to be more hand charted? I don't know. So yes, if you happen to be a little bit more knowledgeable about that, absolutely feel free to chime in the comments, and I'll see what I can track down as well. I always feel bad when companies have these really, really, really pretty putty shapes, and I just have to go in and be like, and I'm destroying it. This is one of those kinds of things, like if you do a TikTok or a reel of like you just destroying a putty, like those are the ones that I feel like always seem to go quasi-viral and get like tons of views. Like people love seeing destruction. It's like, I don't know if it's like rage baity or what, but I just remember noticing that. Like am not I'm not active on TikTok. I don't post at all, and only occasionally will open it to kind of poke around. It feels like I don't know, I feel like I'm too old for TikTok in some ways. I also know that I am compulsive enough that if I went down the TikTok rabbit hole, I would really waste way more time than I would like to be wasting. So I'm okay with not getting completely hooked on that particular app. But occasionally when I'll go over and poke my head over there and see what some of the big like diamond painting creators over there are doing, and they'll often like pin their, most viewed TikToks and stuff. And often it's these ones where they're just honestly doing very rage baity kinds of things. I'm just like, well, if it works for you, go get your bag, go get those views, whatever works. But all this to say, I feel sad about destroying that poor leaf there. But let me see if I can fix up my focus situation so we're not auto-focusing and going in and out like crazy, and then we can actually peel this back, grab a color, and get started. So you guys are going to help me power through this last row of this particular kit, because I honestly have found some of these sections to be pretty tedious with the amount of confetti that there is. So that's been kind of a bummer, but okay, that's fresh putty. We're not going to start with that AB color. Let's pick a different color instead. Break this putty in before I try to place some ABs with it. But how about this color red? Here we go. So hi, by the way. Hello. How are you doing today? I hope that this is giving like very poison apple, like Snow White poison apple vibes with the colors and everything. I kind of love it. I hope that you had a great weekend and that your week is off to a great start so far. It is currently Sunday evening, and can I be 100% honest with you guys? I almost decided to just take this week off from doing a WIP and Chat. I'm feeling pretty, I don't know, just kind of blah today. And I thought, well, I have had several days of videos go up in a row, and some that have been just a little bit more involved, like had a little bit more to them in terms of like filming and figuring out how I wanted to say things and editing them together. So my brain was just feeling the slightest bit more tired. And then I was thinking, I don't know if I feel like I've had enough going on, that I have enough to share about today. So I don't know, I waffled on it, and then I was like, no, let me just try. So I don't know if this ends up running short, then it's just because I don't know, I feel like I didn't have as much to say this week, but who knows? Often when I say that or have that attitude, what ends up happening is I just run long instead. So we'll just talk and keep it very low key, low pressure. When it came down to it, I just didn't like the idea of missing a week of catching up with you guys. I really do enjoy doing these WIP and Chats every week, and I feel like they're just, I don't know, they're such a staple of like my routine and how I get to kind of check in with you guys and stuff. So yeah, I'm good. I'm glad that I'm here. But we had, in some ways, a very low-key weekend. Like, honestly, we barely left the house, but sometimes I feel like that can have almost the reverse effect on you, where it's almost, I don't know, if you do less, you have like less energy kind of thing. It's like object in motion, object at rest, stays at rest to something, that kind of thing. So it almost felt like that kind of weekend. Like, we're here at the end of it, and I'm going, wow, I really didn't do a lot. I mean, I did stuff at home, but like I didn't really leave the house and do stuff, I guess. So there were a variety of reasons for that, and it's not a big deal. Like, it is what it is. But I got to the end of the week, I'm like, oh, well, I'll have more going on this week during the week, and that's fine. So I did get some work done on this particular project, and I'm glad that I am on this last row. The next couple of sections after this one have like the window where there's quite a bit of color blocking, like where the light's coming in the window. So those sections should go a little bit faster, but yeah, I'll be glad to get through these like super confetti heavy shelves. And it's, I usually like working on kits that have a lot going on where I'm trying to think, kind of an equivalent kit that I can think of would be Beauty and Chaos from Unimade, which is like this office desk scene. And similar to this, there's like lots of different things hanging on the walls and on shelves, but Unimade renders a lot more cleanly, like a lot more crisp lines, clean lines, crispness, that kind of thing. And so I could actually really see the objects, the various little elements coming together as I worked on them, because it was so clear what they were up close like this and further back. But here with this kit, there's so much more confetti going on that it's not giving me that same level of satisfaction. So I think the jury is out on what I'm ultimately going to end up rating this kit in terms of enjoyment, because in my diamond painting logbook, I rate kits based on how much confetti there is on a scale of 1 to 10 and how much I enjoyed working on the kit from a scale of 1 to 10. I know I've spent like the first 10 minutes of this video just complaining and whining about this kit, but it doesn't mean I'm actively disliking it. There's something, it's like now that I know what to expect, that helps. But it is a lot of, I don't know. I guess I maybe went into it with too high of expectations, possibly. I'm not sure. So I'll spend some time thinking about it before I really try to determine what I'm gonna rate this one. But when I step back and look at it, step back and take pictures, I'm happy mostly with the way that it looks. But yeah, it is more confetti than I was expecting. I didn't peel back this plastic cover quite far enough, but there we go. So yes, that's this kit. I haven't actually spent any time on Cave Dragon this week. I think I was worried to lose momentum on this one. I really badly want to finish this one by the end of September. It's just like a personal goal. Like I want to have this done in time to work on Ghosts of Eras Past when Taylor's album releases at the beginning of October. And I just want to make sure I'm on track for that. Like I feel fine about it now, but I was starting to worry a little bit like a week ago when I was getting into these more confetti heavy sections. I started to think like, uh-oh, what if I'm not actually going to get through this in quite enough time? But I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And you know what? I genuinely have no insider info here, but I am dying to see, is Diamond Art Club going to do a Halloween drop? And if so, when's it going to happen? I'm sitting here waiting with bated breath alongside all of you guys. I'm ready. I'm hoping they will. They did dedicated Halloween voting, at the beginning of the year? A while back. So, and there was some artwork in there that I was like, there's no way this doesn't make it through. Now, even if it made it through voting, that doesn't necessarily mean it'll get produced in time for this Halloween. Like I've seen that with some past voting rounds and kits that have come out, like some of the kits that have come out recently that it's like that wasn't voting 2.5 years ago, like a long time ago. So, yeah, so I don't have my heart set on any of them, but I was kind of like leaving some space open, like just in case one of those kits that I really love ends up getting released, And so now that I'm coming up on finishing this project, I know I want to do Ghost of Eras Past next, and I can finish Cave Dragon, but then I'm like, but then what? I have, the chart to art kit from Diamond Art Studio UK that I am thinking of doing as well, but I just want to be able to plan accordingly, because what if Diamond Art Club releases the kit and it's a really big size? I want to make sure I have time for that. I don't know, you guys. I'm overthinking it, and anything could happen. There could be shipping delays. There could be any number of things, and it is what it is. But that's kind of what I have in my head anyway. Speaking of Diamond Art Studio UK, I put up my temperature sneak peek unboxing where I was also trying to explain how exactly that would work, because it took me a few times of reading through the instructions to feel like even I grasped it. And I thought, okay, I want to make sure I'm explaining this in a way that hopefully makes sense to you guys. And I'd imagine for some of you, it still was like, no, this is too confusing. It's too much. But hopefully it was still helpful. That pre-order is open, I think, for a week. So feel free to go and check out that video. There's a discount code in that video if you want to save a bit. But I think it's such a fun concept. I'm really happy to see Diamond Art Studio UK tackling this concept and trying to do it in a pre-packaged version and take out a lot of the work and a lot of the headache that goes into trying to do it from scratch yourself, having to source all these materials, having to hunt down a chart and make sure it's diamond painting compatible, and then having to actually do a cross-stitch conversion where you're counting and working with a blank canvas and making sure you're placing them and not messing that up. It's a lot of new concepts at once, and this at least removes some of the new things, which I think is really smart. So I hope that it does well for them, and that but more so that it's just something that other people find helpful and enjoyable, in a way to like do a temperature project that isn't as much work, doesn't take as much brain power as this one. So, but that was a video that I spent, I re-recorded it a few times because I was like, I think I can try to be less confusing here, and I think I can have some more clarity about this here. So I really try to put a lot of thought and I don't know, to try to be really like intentional, not to use like a corporate buzzword, but like to just be really careful about like how I explain things, because I don't want to like make it more confusing. And yeah, so I hope that was helpful. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'll work on that one next year or not, or if I'll want to do like a different, cross-stitch chart or something. That's kind of TBD, but it's cool that it's an option. I also had my drills and chills video go up, and I was just kind of reflecting a little bit on drills and chills now that we're really in the swing of things. We're a good few weeks into it now, and I've just been really, really happy with how it's all gone. I've been thankful for how excited and kind people have been, and also just been continuously blown away by the response to it. So thank you guys so much for your excitement and for joining in on the event and everything. Wow, like almost 2,000 comments on the first couple weeks of videos each was a lot. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I really, really wish that, we had even more prizes to give away. But as it is, we really do have a lot. And I'm glad that it's not just like 1 or 2 prizes a week and that we have several. But yeah, I'm thinking through some different video ideas I want to do through the rest of the event, because we obviously have a month and a half. I have 6 more weekly videos that I'm going to want to do. I have some ideas for some of them. Like towards the end, I'll probably do kind of a review and kind of wrap up style video. I might do some like more Halloween centric tag questions sometime next month. I'll do another sponsor spotlight. If there's specific things you'd be interested in seeing for event videos, I'm not making you do the work for me, but if there is something specific that you're interested in seeing, I am open to suggestions. If you've been around since even just last year, or if you've been around Drills and Chills for multiple years, it's very possible that you've noticed that I do use some of the same concepts year over year. Like most years, yeah, I'll do tag questions. I don't know. I think they're fun. I think it's a fun way to get to know people. Most years I will do like sponsor spotlight videos and try to work in like some unboxings and reviews. But I don't know. It's like, are there ways I should try to mix it up a little bit? Or like, is this also okay? Because it's, I don't know, like my overall, like my video schedule has changed or just looked a little bit different with Drills and Chills starting, since that's like something that I know. Oops, let me just throw my pen. I'm klutzy. With having those videos going up each Saturday morning, and having other various time-sensitive videos like Diamond Art Club sneak peeks when I have those, whether that's Fridays and or midweeks and stuff like that. It's like I have fewer other days to play with doing like other different kinds of videos. So like I have another art dot unboxing that I want to do, and I just haven't been able to do that quite yet because I've had other time sensitive stuff that's needed to go up first. And it's not a big deal. It's just one of those things that I notice looks a little bit different when I'm hosting an event and have like regular commitments like Saturday videos, weekend videos for drills and chills. But I'm really thankful that this year I'm not feeling, knock on wood, I'm not feeling the stress and burnout that I've often felt in last year's. So I'm hoping to keep that sort of very relaxed Zen feel to the event and just to, stuff that's going on in life and whatnot, just to keep it feeling, I don't know, like it's just fun. We're all just here to kick back and have a good time, and not putting crazy pressure on myself when it comes to videos and stuff, but still like wanting to put out good stuff, interesting stuff. I don't know, I'm just babbling at this point. But that's, I guess, it's just what's been on my brain as far as videos and YouTube and stuff like that goes. Let me see what else. I was thinking about how, as I'm working on this kit from Orloa, and I'm working on Cave Dragon from Diamond Painting Shop, and I have some other small shop kits in mind to work on in the upcoming weeks, I'm watching my Gems Flow stash of like kits from smaller shops like dwindle a little bit. I haven't been doing much shopping at all for a variety of reasons, and so I don't know, it's like I might have to try to get creative with still making sure that I'm showcasing small shops the way that I want to on my channel. And I feel, but at the same time, I also feel like, yay, I'm getting to a variety of shops like this year. And that's always something I try to do because I don't want it to all just be super stale, samey content, like always, always Diamond Art Club and always, this, that, or the other thing. But yeah, it's always a balance, and I'm just glad that I'll be able to, I don't know, kind of look back and go, okay, there have been a nice variety of shops represented this year. At least I like to think so. So I'm currently placing some green ABs. Yeah, it is picking it up in camera. Actually, you can really see that iridescent coating. I know we got glare going on, but it's these plants. You can really see it. I wonder if there's a way I can like prop this. I want to like prop this so that I can try to spare you guys some glare maybe. And we'll see if I can diamond paint on that. No, that's not gonna work. Hold on, never mind. That was a terrible idea. No, because it makes a completely uneven surface. Oh well. Anyway. Oh gosh. Well, I also have been continuing to enjoy working on my cross stitch project, which I did bring it over to give you guys an update for those of you that like seeing other craft progress. Let me just place this. I feel like I'm a little bit worried. I'm like running low on some of these colors. I don't know if I'm just spoiled by some other companies that tend to give just like tons of extra most of the time. But this is a company that like this kit, I've been worried to get rid of too many drills that I would otherwise trash, like drills that have holes, little pokey holes on the top or something. It's like, if it's not too bad, I'm not going to toss that drill because I don't know how much extra they actually give. So I'm like looking at these ABs that are left and going, ooh, I hope there's not like very many, if any, of this AB in any other sections, because I feel like I'm about using up what they've included. Hold on just a sec. Let me place a couple of these and then I'll grab that cross stitch project. But it's something I've enjoyed working on, like when I'm sitting in the living room, just like we're having family time, we're just chilling, like maybe the kids are watching a movie and I want to just be there chatting with them and just around and not over at like the kitchen table where I diamond paint. And so having my cross stitch over there has been handy and very just relaxing, very zen again. And it uses like different muscle groups, and so it doesn't seem to strain my shoulder the same way that diamond painting does. And since I've been trying to make sure that I'm not overdoing it with diamond painting for sake of my shoulder, it's been really nice to have a different craft to go back to that really does, yeah, use like different muscle groups and doesn't seem to irritate anything. So, but it's one of those things that I don't necessarily see it becoming like a feature, something that like sees a ton of time like on screen on my channel. I'm debating whether or not I want to include just like a quick look at any projects that I do work on, like as part of my month in review video. Just like a quick, not a whole segment, but just like a minute of like, and here's the cross stitch that I worked on this month, which I think maybe I've kind of done before when I've had like pixels, like the sticker by number projects going, but I don't know. Sometimes people really don't want to see any variety. They're like, I'm here for the diamond painting, show me the diamond painting. The end. Which is fine. But yeah, I was debating about that. But anyway, finish that AB. Here is my cross stitch project update. My hand behind it, you can kind of see it better. So this is a Mill Hill kit. There's going to be a lot of beads that I'll be stitching in a bit. I still have some other regular stitches to get done, but the cats are going to be mostly made up of 310, and I haven't gotten to those yet, but you can see like the silhouette of them. There's like another color that goes along the ground. There's like a dark brown that goes through parts of the trees, and then there's some like lighter yellows that go here, and then like this lantern. And these are actually two like little crows that have like purple in them. And then there's like beads all throughout. There's like beads in part of the outlines of the cats. There's beads in some of the crow, and actually beads in some of like the trees. So I'll be curious to see how that goes. But this has been very chill to work with. This is the back of my project, which I feel like isn't terrible. I don't know. I feel like I've seen messier project backs, but I don't know if this is good or not. So I don't know. I feel like I'm still very much like an amateur cross stitcher. There's certain things that I remember from when I cross stitched when I was much younger that I feel like probably my mom taught me, or like I just remember reading on the instructions, but I don't know how many of those things are actually good practice or like common practice, and how much is just like, oh no, I learned to do that wrong. I haven't gone all the way down the rabbit hole of YouTube tutorials on cross stitch yet, but it could be in my near future. We'll see. For now, I'm just letting it be letting that particular project at least just be I'm just going to work on this the way that I remember how to work on cross stitch, and I'll, just let this be kind of experimental like that. And if nothing else, it'll be something fun to like reflect back on. But it's been fun. Those Mill Hill kits that Bev B recommended, and she's such a huge fan of. I love how small they are, and it feels like, I'm going to be able to finish that, as opposed to like a really big, Heaven and Earth Designs chart that would take me years and years and years to complete. I'm enjoying that one. So, other things here was the misadventure with that cross stitch though. I lost a needle. I lost the original needle that came with it. And it's a little bit keeping me up at night, but I've done what I can. What happened was I had my project sitting on the end table that's in our living room, like next to our couch. I had it sitting there. The needle was threaded and was kind of like sitting on top of the project. I kind of thought that it being threaded with a thread that was like in progress in the project meant that it was relatively secure, and it was just sitting on a flat surface. I couldn't really weave it in, and I didn't have a needle minder because of this. I don't know. This is like almost like a plasticky material, like paper type material. So I couldn't easily weave the needle in. I felt like I was gonna like warp the material if I did that, and that also doesn't seem like it lends itself to a needle minder. I don't know. So yes, like I'm at fault here, obviously, but I just didn't think it was going to be a problem. It hadn't been one. And Mike accidentally knocked it off the end table. He's just a rambunctious kiddo. He knocked it off the end table, and I cannot find the needle anywhere. I absolutely cannot find that needle anywhere. I scoured. I pulled the couch out. There's a rug right there. I was lifting the rug. I ran the vacuum, and I don't think the vacuum picked it up. I have absolutely no idea where this needle ended up. We walk around barefoot in my house a lot, you guys. Now, it's a tapestry needle, so it's blunt on the end. It's not like crazy sharp, but still, I feel like best case scenario is that it somehow fell into the couch, and which is a sleep sofa, and is just like that we haven't used this sleep sofa in forever, and that it's just in the inner workings of the couch and is never to be seen again. But like, it's keeping me up at night, you guys. Like, where is that needle? Where is that needle? And then on a completely, this is a problem for me note also, I didn't have another needle. I was just using the needle that came with the Mill Hill kit. So I took my little booty over to Michael's the next day. They had a coupon. I got like a pack of 5 needles for like $3 or something, and looked again to see if they'd put out Christmas. Mine still is not. Just a little bit salty. I know they're available online now apparently, but I just want to go into the store and look, and like, that's part of the experience for me. Okay, I just want to be able to go in and look and stuff. So we'll check back again this week. They had some other Christmas stuff out, but not the diamond paintings. They're trying to clearance out their Halloween kits, though, it looks like. So my Michaels had them 50% off. So if you still want like a Halloween kit to jump in on drills and chills for really cheap, you can get like a canvas from them for, at 50% off, that's gonna be like $7. Like, that's cheap. So go take a look at your Michaels. Man, these are such a pain to place. Okay. So anyway, I have my needle replacement. I have a little pack now, so I have some backups. But yeah, I just would really like for that needle to turn up at some point, please. It feels so much better. But anyway. Other updates. So I actually had some lab work done this past week. I had made an appointment with my doctor because I started to kind of spiral and freak out about, I've been having a lot more hair shedding, and so it's like it's a side effect of a medicine that I'm on, and I was panicking a little bit and made an appointment with her and was able to like get in and see her the next day, which was great. And she was like, well, we haven't done lab work in a while. Let's go ahead and do like a full panel, and just to see. She said, I suspect it's, this and this, but like, let's go ahead and just do the lab work to be sure. And this will have the added benefit of us being able to check and see how are your levels when it comes to anemia. And the reason that I was totally on board with this too, I've been really curious to see. I had iron deficiency anemia that was worsening to the point that like my primary and my OB and everyone were in agreement that like, okay, like it's time to do something about this. Like, it was affecting my day-to-day, like my just general quality of life. I was really tired all the time. And just like each month when it was that time, it was rough. It was not a good time, like, at all. So back in March, I had an endometrial ablation. I talked about it pretty openly here on my channel. So if you want to go back and hear me talk about it in any more specifics and kind of the experience of what surgery was like and stuff, you're welcome to do so. I know that those WIP and Chats have something about like surgery in the title, so I'm sure you could find them easily. I think it's back in March. But it was one of those things that we weren't really going to know how effective it was in terms of helping with my anemia, and just helping with some of the other, general unpleasantness that was each month, until it had been a few months, even up to like 6 months to a year it can take for your body to just sort of really, adjust and kind of do its thing. And so I had the blood work done. I was able to make an appointment with the lab on Friday and get in and get that taken care of. Super, super brief mention here of just like needles. So if you're queasy about that, skip ahead like a minute or two. But I hate having my blood drawn, you guys, because I am such a difficult stick. And I had drank a ton of water that day to try to make it as easy as possible. And the gal that was doing the blood draw, like, I warned her, I was like, yeah, just FYI, like, I'm told that I can be kind of like a tough one to draw on. And she ended up, saying, I'm glad you told me that. But I did think I was going to pass out at one point because it just took her a few minutes to get everything. And I was just feeling very, I don't know. I don't like that feeling. I was feeling very queasy. I won't get into any more detail than that. But she got it taken care of, went home, And I figured like, oh, they're not going to have the results of this until probably early next week. Lo and behold, though, I get a notification from my patient portal on like Saturday afternoon, less than 24 hours later, being like, you have a new test result. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, because they'll do that sometimes, especially with stuff like this, where it's like if there's nothing like super, super alarming, they'll go ahead and just put it on your patient portal before your doctor even sees it. So yeah, my doctor hasn't seen it and contacted me about it yet, but I did let Google help me pretend like I was a doctor to go and, refresh my memory on what some of these different things meant. And there were two specific numbers. HCT, is that I should have looked this up beforehand. Hematocrit and heme something else. Anyway, the two numbers that really tell you whether or not you're anemic or not. Both of those were back in the normal range for the first time in years. I was so relieved to see it. I had been noticing a difference in terms of like my fatigue and like some other general like positive effects, but it was still really reassuring to see it confirmed in my lab work that it's like, oh my gosh, like those numbers that correlate to anemia have finally moved from this is too low and this is actually a problem range into the low. It's still the low side of the normal range, but like according to this chart and Google, like the numbers themselves are technically in a normal healthy range. So that was a huge relief. I was like, oh my gosh, this is wonderful news. I'm so glad. It is one of those things where I just also was very reassured knowing that I'd had a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings leading up to having this procedure done, mainly because it meant that like I wasn't gonna be able to have any more kids, and we knew that we were done having kids and had known that for quite some time, but there was still something about making a decision that would like make that more physically permanent that was very emotional. And so I think it would have been really hard for me if it would have come back and been like, well, this wasn't effective, this like didn't do what we like, the reason that we did it, now there have been other benefits to it, so like it's fine. Like I'm not like throwing that away or discounting that, but still like I'm just really glad that we were able to, I don't know, that it worked, I guess. So yay for that. And I'll be curious to hear from my doctor, though, this week, because I am still significantly iron deficient. I'm not anemic, but I'm very iron deficient. So I'll be interested to hear what her suggestions are. I don't tolerate iron supplements like in a multivitamin well at all. And I cannot eat red meat really almost at all because it's a huge migraine trigger for me. So I know that like spinach is a good source of iron, and between that and me needing to get like a lot more protein in, I'm afraid that I'm going to turn into one of those people that's like a shake person, like a shake or smoothie person. I'm kind of starting to research a little bit and look into what are some recipes. I have never once in my life made myself like a smoothie at home. Okay. But so I'm like trying to figure out what are the basics. What are like just what are the building blocks of even making a smoothie that like I can add things to? Like I'm aware that you can just dump a ton of spinach into a smoothie and get, a bunch of iron that way potentially, and, protein powder and then like, other fruits and veggies. But I'm just like, I truly have no idea what I am doing. I've asked a couple of friends for some advice, but if you guys would like to chime in either with smoothie/shake suggestions that are good for protein and or iron and whatnot, or if you have like other recipes for other things for ways that you like to get protein besides just like protein bars and protein powder, just they're very expensive. So I'm like, if there are things I can make kind of DIY, ideally still delicious. There's this guy that Facebook has been showing me a lot on like Facebook. What does Facebook call them? Reels? Shorts? I don't remember. The short form content. And I know he's on TikTok too, but it's Liam. I think is I don't know what his whole handle is, but like he does just this really refreshing like nutritional content is really realistic. He like loathes cottage cheese, and it's so funny. But he's just he has such a practical and like pragmatic approach to like nutrition. It just seems like a very, very healthy mindset. I really like his content a lot, so maybe I should see if he's got any like good suggestions and recipes for things like that. But I'm in that phase where I'm overwhelmed by its information overload, but I want to figure it out because I don't know, I'm just in this place. The past year I've really been trying to take a lot better care of my health and my body. I don't know if it's because like how old am I turning this year? I'm turning 37 this year. There was something about turning 35 that just made me go, okay, like I just want to be taking care of my health, and let's figure out what's going on with my migraines. Let's figure out what's going on with this and that. And so I'm just trying to take like some good steps with that, I guess. So anyway, that was kind of a little meandering chat surrounding that whole idea. So yeah, I'll be curious to hear from my doctor this week is really what the point is. And if you have recipes you want to share, please feel free to. I appreciate you guys so much. What else has been going on? Scout decided to worry us a little bit this weekend. He's fine, you guys. No panicking. Scouts are, how old is he now? 7.5-month-old puppy. He, yesterday, the past few days, he started having increasing accidents in the house, and I originally just chalked it up to like, oh, it's a puppy phase, or possibly something behavioral, or maybe he's just drinking too much water and then just getting too excited with playing. He's not, letting us know he needs to go outside. We have like a bell hanging on our back door that he's generally really good about ringing when he wants to go outside. But then last night, Saturday night, he started really worrying us because he really just wanted to like lay on Adam, and he was like having accidents in his sleep or when he was just laying there. And so I start to freak out. Like, okay, let me just start Googling. Immediately I thought, oh, does he have like a UTI? Spoiler, yes, that's what we're pretty sure that it is. He's on antibiotics now. But I was just like, let me just do the Google thing, make sure that none of these are symptoms that like we should have him seen tonight. Can we wait till tomorrow? Because that's a big, like, for terms of practicality and cost, like an emergency vet overnight versus like finding one that's open on a Sunday, but not necessarily like emergency hospital situation would be great. But obviously we're going to do whatever we need to do to take care of our puppy, obviously. So I ended up waking up this morning really early, basically, when I had I had a handful of vets and pet hospitals that like opened at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. this morning, and I just basically set alarms and settled in to like make phone calls. I ended up calling several more than I expected because almost every place that I called was like, we don't have any appointment availability. You can come and do like, what's the word? Not standby. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the word. But like walk in. There, thanks, Adam. I was like, I'm blanking on it. What was that word? You can come and do a walk-in, but you might be waiting for like 3 or 4 hours because we triage and we handle emergency situations. And I was just like, yeah, I'd like to not do that if we can avoid it. So I just kept making phone calls, kept expanding our search radius. And thankfully, we live in a place where there are a ton of options. And ended up finding a vet that, like, our normal vet wasn't open on Sundays. They were open on Saturdays, but not Sundays. So that was a bummer. But I found one that was open and had availability and was able to see us like a few hours later. And Adam took Scout because Scout is incredibly attached to Adam. Like, it's kind of funny, but I also like feel bad for Adam because like sometimes there's things that Adam just literally cannot do because Scout will just like drape his whole body on top of Adam. It's funny, but it's also a lot. So I was like, Adam is going to take him because I think that'll probably be more comforting for him. And I was so relieved because I don't know, I had in my head that they were going to like make us do like blood work and take a urine sample and everything before they would treat him. But no, they basically went in and they, examined him, and just based on like physical exam and Adam going through symptoms with them, they're like, yeah, it sounds like it's a UTI. Here's some antibiotics, and basically give us a call if he doesn't get better. So, he's had really good energy today already. He's had just one dose of antibiotics, but he kind of woke up seeming to feel better and not really having any accidents, which was great. I hope that means he's not he wasn't having pain this morning, and hopefully the antibiotics are kicking in here pretty quickly and he'll be totally on the mend soon. But I just was like, poor buddy, like puppy's first UTI, I guess. But yeah, that gave me a little bit of a scare, and it kind of was part of before I knew that this was a problem and I thought he was just having accidents in the house. Was it Thursday or Friday was such an Alexander day is what I call them. And I know other people do too, but like Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I feel like I'm probably like time stamping myself because I don't know that book is even necessarily around or is popular now. Like I haven't come across that, kids. Like I don't have a copy of that book for my kids, but it was a book that I just remember reading a lot when I was a kid. A while back. There was a movie.
Yeah, you don't remember that?
Nope. I sure don't. But I believe you because you're walking.
2014. So it's been a little bit, but I mean, we were not children.
No, but we didn't have kids either, so that wasn't necessarily on our radar.
Right, but like it was on some kids' radar.
Sure, that's fair.
And it's on Disney Plus now, apparently.
Well, there you go. We should introduce the kids to it. If we can get them off of K-pop Demon Hunters. But
I think I'd rather watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah. But yeah, that day was just, it felt like I didn't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. It was just a series of unfortunate events. Felt like things just kept going wrong. And one of them was like Scout had like peed on our couch and then pooped on the stairs. And then Skip is doing this thing. Freaking cats, man. If you have a cat, you know that you're playing the throw up roulette. My gosh, this WIP and Chat has turned into just like, let's talk about gross medical stuff most of the time. My goodness. Skip is making us play like the throw up roulette with him right now, which is like sometimes cats and frankly dogs too. Sometimes they throw up just because they're throwing up and there's absolutely nothing wrong. They just throw up. But like Skip is doing it just often enough lately that I'm going, is it time to see a vet? Which probably means yes, but like also I'll be like ready to call the vet and then he goes like a day or two with like nothing, and his behaviorally completely 100% normal. It's just that sometimes he just throws up. So that was stressful because like of course, even though we have plenty of non-carpeted areas in our home, including most of our downstairs, without fail, every time he will find the rug or the carpet and make sure that he throws up on that. So it's like a whole thing to clean up, right? So there was that. I also was really bummed because I just made a really stupid mistake, and I'm pretty sure that I lost like my AirPods in the FedEx parking lot without realizing it. And I think those are just like done and gone for forever. And then I was cranky. Then I was upset because like I was stressed because I had talked with Micah's teacher when I picked him up from school, and he's been having some trouble like with eloping at school again, which is really unusual for him at this particular school. Like that was an issue that he had a couple years ago, and they figured out, and it hadn't been an issue there for quite some time, and now it's like back, and I'm hoping it's just part of his like revenge. I call it like revenge week for the kids that with like transitioning back to school out of summer. Like I hope it's just part of him adjusting to being back to school. But like that was such a huge problem, including like for safety when we went to the misadventure school for a couple of months earlier in the year. So like that I was stressed and worried about. And there were a couple other things that happened that day that I was just like, can I get a do-over on this Thursday? Because I don't feel like I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, but just if stuff would stop going sideways, that would be great. Like I would like that. I would like that a lot. So, yeah, that was kind of a meh. Oh no, I think it was Friday. It was Friday because part part of it was the lab work that I was so upset that like they couldn't get a good stick, and I was upsetting about that. So no, Friday was the rough day. I was like, I think that's probably why this weekend I just didn't do anything or go anywhere. I was like, I'm just gonna stay home. Just chill, just recoup. But anyway, the kids, they're fine. I think that this past week really was a little bit like payback week of adjusting back to school. Connor did pretty well, but Micah, I feel like, had the harder time this past week. Hopefully this upcoming week is just a little bit better. We just keep adjusting and everything just keeps going well. We're going to hopefully touch base with Micah's teachers and like the school psychologist, which part of it could be like the normal school psychologist is currently on maternity leave. Connor's like the main teacher is on maternity leave and he has a long-term sub. So like there's like some things that are unusual there, but I want to see like, okay, what are the notes on what you guys did? Like what worked when this was an issue a couple years back? Like let's revisit that. Let's meet, let's talk, let's figure this out together. Like we're on the same team as you guys. There's only so much we can do from home, like, but we're doing everything we can, and we want to make sure we're talking this through and yeah, all on the same page about it. So any other big updates? Not necessarily, I guess. Look at my little notes over here. I went back to Trader Joe's this past week. We talked a lot about food in last week's WIP and Chat. All the pumpkin goodness at Trader Joe's. I got some of the apple pie filling spread on a recommendation from a friend who had taken a picture of that like on top of the pumpkin brioche from Trader Joe's. You guys, it's so delicious. So delicious. If you have a Trader Joe's anywhere near you, you have to just go get a bunch of their seasonal stuff, and you're welcome. It'll put you in the perfect like fall mood, and then pick up like a Starbucks pumpkin cream cold brew on your way home. By the way, if you have tried the pumpkin cream cold brew and gone, this is like good, but I just wish it were a little bit sweeter, I have a hack for you. And that is to get the pumpkin cream cold brew, but ask them to add a splash of sweet cream to it. Because the vanilla sweet cream cold brew, which is my go-to drink during the not fall season, if I'm treating myself to Starbucks once in a blue moon, it has just a splash of sweet cream in it. It's actually still very, like, it's not a sugar bomb, actually, because just a very little bit that they put in goes a very long way. But they don't automatically put that sweet cream in all their cold brews. But if you ask them to add it to the pumpkin cream cold brew, chef's kiss. I told my mom to try it, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's it. That was absolutely delicious. So it's got the seal of approval of, as you guys call her, Mama Washi. She'll be out here next month. She and my dad are both coming out towards the end of the month. They'll be here for a trick or treat with the kids and for just a little bit of fall in Southern California. But yeah, just a little suggestion for you if you're looking for something really, really delicious, but also still sweet. Yes. Okay. What I've been reading and watching and listening to, I don't have anything new to add on the reading front, which makes me sad even still. But since I've more recently been feeling like I'm really burning out on watching like YouTube commentary content, which has been my binge for a couple months now, I think that I'm like hoping this means that my brain is going to be ready to switch back to audiobooks, get back to those Brandon Sanderson books. So nothing new to report on this front, but I have been gaming a little bit. I have not done a ton of video gaming this week either, though. So this like hobby category, as I'm kind of morphing it into, nothing super exciting this week. Watching, like I said, I'm kind of burning out on YouTube commentary content and ready to like move on to other stuff. I've been shifting back to watching more diamond painting content this past week. I was so pleasantly surprised to see a number of people doing the fall diamond painting tag questions that I'd put together for Drills and Chills. I always think that like the ideas, like those kinds of questions that I come up with, I'm always like, oh, these are so dumb. Like no one's going to want to do them. But it's been really fun. Like I've been trying to watch people's videos that have done them and have tagged me and stuff. And so if you're interested, you guys are welcome to check out my Drills and Chills Week 2 video where I had those tag questions, and I tried to make them mostly diamond painting related in some way. So you can answer them in like a WIP and Chat or something if you want. And I've been just enjoying listening to people respond to those. So thank you so much if you guys have done that. And then listening to, I've started putting Taylor Swift on shuffle again. I had taken like a couple months off from really listening to her music, but it's this build up to her new album coming out here in a couple weeks. And I'm like, okay, we'll reintroduce Taylor into the rotation. That said, if my kids are in the car, it's still K-pop Demon Hunters 24/7. Micah knows so many of the words, like most of the words to most of the songs. And he's so funny. He will not necessarily want to listen to the soundtrack in order. He will like tell me which one he wants to listen to, which song. The song ends and he has me skip to whatever the next song is that he wants to listen to, as opposed to like keeping it in very specific orders. That's been fun. I'm not sick of the music yet. I'm just not. And I'm okay with it. So and then what I've got coming up this week on YouTube, I have some sneak peeks to share with you. I have not decided what my week 4 drills and chills video is going to be yet. And again, if you have something specific you might be interested in, you're welcome to share any of those thoughts below. I'll keep noodling on it. Maybe like I'll be done with this one. I could do a post review maybe of my first couple of kits, do like kind of a mid-event check-in. That might be the way to go. Talk about plans for like the second part of the event maybe. So I don't know, maybe that'll be what I do for drills and chills this week. And then sneak peeks, and then possibly, a post review or other unboxing. It's kind of squeezing things in. But we're coming up on the end of the month, and Pure Bliss, I think, is sending me their October box to share with you guys, which I have a feeling will be fun and spooky because they like to do things seasonally. So I'm excited to see what they come up with for that. And yeah, I think that's what you've got from me here. So it feels like we barely even made a dent in this. Like we've been talking for an hour. Granted, it was, 10 or 15 minutes before I started actually putting diamonds down. But I'm telling you what, this confetti, it just takes a lot longer to get through these sections. But I'm curious to see how it all looks once it's done. Once it's done. Yeah, so that's that. We got some pretty ABs. Got green ABs and like the hanging plants and herbs here. And we have some red ABs and these peppers. And okay, accessories wise, everything was great. This is a really comfy pen to hold. The wax and the putty were great to work with as always. I mean, these are ones I've used a number of times before and had a good experience with. I feel like Bijou Bliss, did they slightly update their trays? Are their walls a little bit higher now? I feel like they're slightly different. This was great to work with. I love this tray. It also feels like maybe it's slightly bigger. I'll have to go compare it to some of my other Bijou Bliss trays. I know that they changed it so that like it used to be that you could see, like they were completely glued in and they didn't come out, but you used to be able to see like the metal of the magnets on the corners, and they've since switched to having them be like embedded, which is interesting. And this design is just really fun. But yeah, nothing but good things to say about, the cover reminder was so cute too. Yeah, all good things to say about all of these accessories. So these will all be linked below, as will this kit. I think this kit is out of stock. I'm not sure how often or it does restock. But yeah, let's see. If you made it all the way to the end, how about a plant emoji in honor, like leaves or plants or something, in honor of these like hanging plants that we mostly worked on today. Let me know how you're doing, what you were working on while we chatted. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Subscribe if you want to see more diamond painting videos, including weekly WIP and Chats from me on Monday mornings. I do unboxings and reviews from a variety of companies as well, and you'll get weekly drills and chills content from me on Saturday or Sunday through the end of October. So I'd love to have you here as part of my community. But either way, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're doing very, very well and that you have a day and a week that's as wonderful as you are. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.